Welcome to Cretoni Entertainment. I'm Chris.
I'm great.
And I painted this like a month ago.
Ooh, what are we painting?
Dino Thunder.
Ooh, hey, at least you know what we're painting.
Yeah, we're painting Dino Thunder. I know that much. I got this blue here, I got this red here, and I got this yellow here. These are all Citadel contrast paints over our Krylon 2X Perfect Gray Matte Finish Spray Paint Primer. I actually got through that without stumbling that time. But before we do our Yellow Ranger, we're actually going to go ahead and wash this entire model with Agrax Earthshade. So I know we've shown a couple of different techniques for painting yellow a couple of different ways. This one is going to help create some of your deeper shading for your yellows. I want to do at least one thing that was kind of new in this video. I'm having a problem with some of these Power Rangers painting videos, by the way. I got to put this out there. I'm becoming concerned that we don't have enough new techniques, and there's too many Heroes of the Grid figures to really keep showing people new stuff.
We're not doing the bad guys where you could show new techniques.
There's not new techniques. There's not a lot of new techniques I want to show on the bad guys. It's part of the problem. I've shown most of them. Anyway, then we're going to go the Yachting Yellow all over them. These are just flat contrast paints all over them. So the Blood Angels red, the blue that I lost the labor for, I think it's Talisar blue. And then over the yellow that's now dry on the Agrax Earthshade, we're going to put out Yachting Yellow, and we're going to paint over the entirety of the black Dino Thunder Ranger. Now there's the yellow Dino Thunder. I said black for a reason. There's actually a costume variance on this Ranger.
Mm-hmm.
If you actually look at the still photos of this Ranger, her white diamonds are outlined in black in the actual show costumes, whereas the other characters are not. We did not do that here. Just like we didn't do that with Vesper from the Hyperforce Rangers. If you look at the Hyperforce Rangers, that like lightning bolty streak on all their chests is supposed to be black. But on hers, since she's the Black Ranger, it's actually red. If you recall, on our Hyperforce Rangers, we gave them all, I think we did silver or white on all of them to kind of make them tie in together. We did something similar here. I did not do the black outlined diamonds, but be aware that black outlined diamonds are a thing for this Dino Thunder Ranger. But as we cover her in the Yachting Yellow all over, you can see that we've already got a darker than usual deep shading because of that Agrax Earthshade. So going over to our blue one real quick here, we've got our Game Color Magic Blue from the Vallejo line.
Magic Blue!
And we're just going to highlight him with this blue. Now, this is not the same way we've been doing all of our Blue Rangers either. Most of our Blue Rangers, we've been using a darker undercoat color. And we've been using the Magic Blue as the highlight. But this is actually really going to showcase for you. If you pull up one of our older videos with like another Blue Ranger, it can be Hyperforce Blue or whatever Blue Ranger we've worked on, and you compare it to the color that this is going to be, you will actually see what a difference the undercoat is going to do on a Miniature.
Okay. What?
Miniature.
I hate you.
It's like a Minotaur, but it's like Miniature. A Miniature Minotaur. A Miniature Minotaur. That would be meta. It's like a figure of a tiny Minotaur.
Yeah, thank you. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I painted this like a month ago.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten much painting done lately. Actually, we're going to have a video about Hobby Slump coming out. Ironically, it's a video about procrastinating on painting your miniatures, and I've been putting off recording it. So it's a bit of a meta video.
I was going to say.
It's a little meta. Oh, I just snapped a thing. I'm making noise in the background because this noisy. Yeah. Oh no.
Now it's gone. You can never have it back.
We're the most professional YouTubers ever.
Well, I was trying to be more professional, but you apparently just
I gave up on being professional because I decided that either we're terrible or we have too big of a niche or we're terrible. It's probably one or three. Because I saw somebody on one of the 3D printing Facebook groups I'm on being like, we're celebrating our 1-year anniversary of being on YouTube and we have 21,000 subscribers. And I'm like, yeah, we haven't broken 400 yet. But we are starting to see some interesting directions for the channel. I don't know why I saw that. Maybe it's interesting directions for the family because we're going to have Julian on some more videos.
Yeah.
So we got our Game Color Scarlet Red. We're just doing our highlighting here. We're leaving some of the Blood Angels Red showing beneath on our Red Ranger, yada, yada, yada. You've seen this before. Got some interesting things coming up for the channel. I'm going to try to put out a Marvel Crisis Protocol video this week because I have a figure like 87% done, and I've just been too lazy to finish him. We've got our upcoming What to Do When You're in a Hobby Slump video coming up. And actually, we've got our next battle report for Age of the Grid as we pull out our Moon Yellow from our Game Color to do our highlights on our Yellow Dino Thunder Ranger. So a lot of this commentary is really more us advertising what's coming up.
You advertising. I'm not involved.
Well, you're kind of involved. In the month of April, I don't know if it's going to take the whole month.
It's going to take forever.
It might take forever. But we have a pretty big project coming up in the month of April. where we're actually going to paint 2 complete firefight teams for Grimdark Future Firefight by One Page Rules. Their miniatures I have 3D printed. I've set them off to the side. I really should start, painting them so I can record the video.
I mean, that might help.
But we're going to paint 2 complete teams, and then you and I are going to play several battle reports with those teams. So we can kind of showcase just how simple it is to get into Grimdark Future Firefight, which is a free rule set.
Yep.
From One Page Rules. I am. I'm trying to fight like a hiccup.
Hiccup.
And it's not going great. I appreciate you calling it out for the people. Hello, the people. I'm fighting off a hiccup.
Well, I mean, it was just like I didn't know if you were either dying or fighting an issue.
I'm dying a little inside.
I mean, I did have that fiery chicken, so
it's Nashville hot chicken. It wasn't super hot. I've had hotter. Anywho. So we're going to paint up 2. We only did the Grimdark Future Firefight because that's the one that Julian is most interested in right now. Yes. I actually am interested more in the Age of Fantasy skirmish. I think you are as well. Although we can get your rat people for a firefight too.
I know. I can have my rat people both in space and on ground.
But they're basically the same game. I think there's like one universal special rule that's different between the 2 of them, and it's not one that either of our factions have been using, so it doesn't really matter. But as you may or may not know, if you've been watching these videos, we are also adapting one-page rules well, not really adapting one-page rules. We're adapting our Heroes of the Grid figures to accommodate one-page rule stuff. And we've had an ongoing project with our Power Rangers figs. We've got rules for these Dino Thunder ones included. And we played a 1,000-point game of Age of Fantasy using Heroes of the Grid figures. And we did not use the best camera in the world. The footage was terrible. I don't want to release it. It's bad even by our standards. But
that's saying something.
Yeah, I know. And it's even saying something more because I won that game too, and now I can't even show it.
Yeah.
I won it handily, and I can't even show that now. So now people are just going, you didn't really win it because you can't prove it. I'm like, well, I could prove it, but then you're all going to unsubscribe because it looks terrible. Anyway, all the diamonds are getting painted wolf gray. You notice I'm focusing mostly on this Yearler one here. Yearler. There's no tech I'm doing that's new at this point, so there's really not much painting commentary to do. Just enjoy the visuals of me painting this Dino Thunder Yellow Ranger. And I'm doing the same techniques on the blue and the red, so you're not missing anything by not seeing me do all 3 of them simultaneously.
You can just listen to Chris's dulcet tones.
My dulcet tones, as I say, simultaneously. Simultaneous miniature painting. Simultaneous miniature painting.
Like it? I don't like it.
Painting. Anyway, it was fun. The 1,000-point game of Age of Fantasy was fun.
It was fun.
However, it was a little clunky.
Yeah, and it did not flow as well as we would have liked.
I mean, it wasn't horrific, but there was a lot of separating dice pools and whatnot because we tried to make every Ranger's power weapon unique.
Yeah.
And that was a lot of time of going,
I didn't have that issue, but that was on you.
That's true, you didn't have that issue.
I just can't with you tonight. I can't. Okay? I can't.
It was a lot of sitting there and going, okay, we have 5 Rangers, and these 3 dice represent this, and these 3 dice represent this, or whatever the numbers were. It doesn't really matter. And it wasn't a super unique or compelling experience. It didn't feel like we were playing the Power Rangers.
No.
It felt like we were playing just any war game, which was disappointing. And I'm not giving up on that particular army project, but I think it needs to go back to the drawing board again. And I think I need to give it some more thought and go from there.
But our skirmish game.
That said, yes, that revitalized me to sit down and really hammer out skirmish stuff. And I spent a lot of time kind of recalculating what my thought process was on the skirmish stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a couple of design style rules in my head. The full list, if you watched our list overview video for the Army game, has a ton of special rules to work through.
Yes.
Well, flipping through most of the other one-page rules armies, we see that they have like between 5 and 7 kind of special, non-universal special rules. Okay, I tried to pare our lists down to have that same number, 5 to 7,
right?
That are not found, on the back page of the core rules. So the rest of the Rangers, I tried to make unique by changing their weapon profiles and their individual special rules. And I think for the most part, we did pretty well. There are a few more tweaks I may want to consider going back and doing. Spoiler alert, we gave Billy Quality 3, Defense 3 in the skirmish version. I'm actually thinking about dropping Billy to Quality 4, maybe giving him an extra attack, only to kind of represent that, Billy was never quite the same fighter as the rest of the Rangers.
Yep.
I'm also considering dropping Kimberly to quality 4, but leaving the sniper rule on the power bow, because that was always her strength, was the accuracy of the power bow, and the sniper rule still lets her shoot on a 2+. So there's a lot of considerations that I can do to make some things more unique, but it felt much more dynamic. It felt much more in character playing the skirmish version.
Yes.
So my design philosophies were trying to make the Rangers feel unique, trying to give each team a special rule, but limiting the number of unique special rules, trying to keep the generic ones.
Right.
And I also had a personal goal of trying to keep a full Ranger team in the range of 250 to 300 points. So I want you to be able to buy all 5 or 6 members of a Ranger team for about 250. Some exceptions apply, like all 6 Zeo teams come out to 300 on the nose. All 6 Mighty Morphin Rangers you can get for 250.
Mm-hmm.
So I tried kind of keeping all that in mind. Does kind of guide the creativity a certain direction, but I think we achieved it. We're going to put that video out later this week as we give fun names to our different factions.
Yes, we did.
Our report coming out later this week, and I'm not sure exactly what day yet, but it'll come out this week. We called it the Teenagers with Attitude versus the Court of the Imprisoned Empress.
Yes.
So it was a lot of fun as we keep going on the Dino Thunder. And that might be one of the directions this channel starts to go more in, creating more battle report content, because I think there's a lot here. I think there's a lot to show with wargaming. I think there's a lot to show with one-page rules. There's not a tremendous number of... I hesitate to use the word good because it's not like our battle reports are going to be good.
I mean, it's us.
But there is a lack of good battle report content for one-page rules. There's not a lot of it out there.
Wow.
Well, you
don't know what other people are doing. You don't know them. You know what their story is.
Hush your face. We're only because we're running out of time, and I want to explain what I mean by that so it doesn't come off the wrong way like you just took it. When I say not a lot of good, the Wylock's Armory Crafting channel did quite a few of these, but I think a lot of them are about a year old at this point. So there's not a lot of new content coming out from the Wylock's Armory, which has good production value. And they were good battle reports. I've watched them all. There's a channel called Sad and Lonely Wargamer, who showcases the solo rules for one-page rules, because there's actually single-player rules that gives AI to your enemies. And actually, one day I do want to play a Power Rangers game where I have the AI fight the AI and see what happens. I think that could be interesting. But Sad and Lonely Wargamer really showcases the AI rules, but there's not a lot of back and forth, not a lot of interaction, not a lot of human interaction on that channel. So you're not seeing how 2 people would play the game. You're seeing how the AI plays the game. And then a number of the other battle reports I see for one-page rules really cut down the videos. They do a lot of speed ups, and it's not a long game, especially the firefight version.
No,
it's a very quick game. We can play a game in 30 to 45 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
But some of these battle reports to, I think, save times on their channels, probably to optimize what their viewers are watching, have their times cut down to like 12 or 13 minutes covering a whole game. So a lot of it gets sped up or skimmed over. So that's what I mean by a lack of good content. Full length, 2 people back and forth battle reports. And that's what I kind of want to start doing more of. And we'll do it with more than just Age of the Grid. We're going to do it with Grimdark Future Firefight. We want to get some Freeblade stuff going on. There's a lot coming to Crotoni Entertainment. And this video has just been a giant advertisement for that, really, with a lack of hilarious content. So
yeah, you didn't let me have my witty repertoire at all. You were just all hogging it.
Yeah, there's a lot going on right now. So get ready for some exciting projects next month. I don't know how many Power Rangers figures are going to get painted during that, because we're really going to hit hard this idea of building up 2 playable forces over the course of a month. But anyway, there's our Dino Thunder team. I think they look quite striking.
They do.
Very, very clean. The white diamonds really do a lot for them. But anyway, like and subscribe for more content. Hit the bell button for notifications. See you next time.
Bye! It's a lot of primary colors. Bye! Primary.
Well, that's the Rangers.